What's going on, guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to recover or reupholster your door inserts. This is something that can kind of be done on almost any car. Most cars have these inserts right here, but this tutorial is going to be specifically for a Mark III Focus. Mine is a 2013 Focus ST, and this is actually pretty easy. They will take them from looking like this with this cheap black cloth that's just cheap Ford stuff. Doesn't really feel nice or look nice. And you can take it from that to this, where it's a little bit more pop. This is a red, it's like red faux suede. It kind of looks weird on camera, but yeah, that's kind of what it looks like in person right there. And I got this from Joann's Fabrics. It was $14 for 58 inches by 1 yard. You can see that's the fabric right there. You get plenty. You can do way more than just this if you wanted to. You could try even covering something else. Maybe if I come up with something else later on down the line, I will show you that too. But I've already done the rears. You can see the other one is in there. I did that to kind of figure out the process, and then now I'm going to show you how to do it on the fronts. But this looks a lot better. You can see it looks OEM all around the edges. You can't even tell other than right there. You can see there's like a little like crease type thing. That's because this is a zero stretch fabric. That's just what I chose. If you choose some other kind of fabric that does have a little bit of a stretch to it, it'll be a little bit easier to get around that corner right there. But you can't really tell. It's hardly even noticeable unless you're looking for it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. All we have to start with is taking off this whole door card here. It's really the only way to do it, but it's actually way easier than it sounds. It's pretty much the same process for the front and back, just for this one. On the rear, you just grab this whole thing and pull it up. And on the front, you have to take off this chrome piece here, and then you can pull up on this. Then that's when you get access to the screws, and then there's one screw here. And basically what you have to do is take a screwdriver and kind of push around the edges. Like you can see, I just found it there with my finger. But you push, and this thing will come up right there. So you can see there's a little lip there. And you put the screwdriver in there and pry it out, and you'll see there's a T25 torque screw there. And then there'll be the same thing behind these whenever you pop off this and take this off. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like when I have this popped off and this taken out, so I can show you how to take out this piece here and then pull off the whole door panel. So now you can see the chrome piece is removed. You start here, pull it out here, and then pull it all the way down here, and it'll pull out. And then there is the torque screw there. And now you can see there's this piece here that's kind of moving. All you got to do is lift up on this and pop this whole section out. There'll be two plugs behind it. Unplug both of those plugs, and then you're good to take this out. And then just remove all of the screws. There'll be one here and two behind here. Also, I forgot to mention, pop out this cover right here, and there's a screw in there that you also have to pop out. And then you can just pull on this whole door panel and it'll snap right off. So now that your door panel is removed, you can see this section here is where the cloth is on and where we're going to be recovering it. And the way that you get this off is by drilling out all of these little plastic rivets all the way around here. There, they go all the way around. So you have to be pretty careful with these because, number one, you can drill through. I accidentally did that on one of the rear ones. I didn't go like all the way through, but you could like see the very tip of like the drill bit. It just kind of barely got through the plastic. So you have to be really careful because I wasn't even drilling that much. So you have to be really careful with that. Like once you feel it go through, take the drill out and just kind of pull the plastic out because you don't want to go any farther. And also, don't use a too small drill bit. Use probably about as big as you can just to get this very top layer off, and then use some pliers to pull the rest of the plastic off, because the way we're going to attach this back is with screws and washers. So you want to see that hole there. You want to leave that hole there because I'm using these really short wood screws that screw in here, and I just put a washer in them and tighten them down. For the rears, it worked great. You just got to be really careful when drilling these out to still leave a bit of material there to drill into. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these all out and then pop out the insert and show you what that looks like. This is what it looks like once you get the insert out. You can see all the holes. All I had to do was drill out the rivets and then kind of pull off some of the plastic, and this pops right out. And then just measure some of your fabric around it and cut out a smaller piece to put on there. You can see there's my piece cut around to fit on this size. And the next thing you're going to do is spray on some spray adhesive. This is the one that I'm using. It is medium strength, fast, like the speed in which it like gets tacky. You can use a higher strength one. This one's super sticky, so a high strength adhesive would probably is more than you need, but this seems to work fine. I've had these already on for a few weeks, and they've just been sitting out in the hot heat nonstop, and it's not coming off. They're super sticky. This works really good. It's 3M Super 77 spray adhesive. I think I got this off Amazon. And there's also some in the fabric shop too. So if you go to a fabric shop to find some fabric, you could find some spray adhesive. But pretty much what you want to do is you don't want to get it so thick to where it's wet and it will soak through the fabric, but you do want a thick layer. Make sure there's nothing on there. So what I do is I put a pretty thick layer on this itself, and I let that soak in and get tacky. Then I put a light coat on the back of the fabric and let that get tacky. And then I start right here. This is where you start pressing down because you don't want to have like a bubble there. So press here and then just kind of move outwards, and kind of right in this area right here will be a little tricky to get right, but just get it all stuck down, press it down, make sure that it dries while it's in the right spot, and then afterwards you might need to go around and add some more adhesive around here and get it tucked around like on the back. I won't spray it, I'll wait and then spray the back and then wrap it around this edge right here and get that all stuck down. Then we'll cut all the edges around and then cut spots for the holes. So here's what it looks like when it's all stuck down. I already went and cut around the edges. It doesn't have to look good around the edges just because this is getting covered. And that's why it looks so good, is because the fabric gets like tucked all the way around here, around under the plastic, so you can't really tell it's been cut and added and all that. And it just fits in there real nice. You can see right there's like a little bubble, but that'll get fixed anyways. And you can see there's one crease there. That's pretty much just impossible to do with this fabric because it literally does not stretch. So that's pretty much impossible to do, but that'll mostly get covered right in that little area. But that's pretty much it for this. Now what we're going to do is take a sharp razor and go around all of the holes that we drilled out and cut an X through the holes so you have a hole, or you could just poke a hole somehow. Make sure there's a hole in all of those, and then I will show you how to connect it back to the door panel. So here it is snapped back in. You got to start over here and get that piece clipped in, and then kind of wiggle it over this, and then pretty much just press it through, and now you can see the plastic all the way around. So now I'm going to take these wood screws right here, and I'm going to use some scrap metal to make some washers for them and get them all through the washers, and then I'm just going to start screwing it all in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. So here's what they look like all screwed in. You can see I just screwed it into the plastic all the way around, and then that just holds it in good like that, and that is good to go. So if I flip it over, there you go. My phone won't focus because it's dark, but that's what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead. You can see here there's like spots that'll show up like that. All you got to do is press them down and they'll go away, like in my old on my other two I've done. I had a few spots like that, press them down, and they're good. They haven't come back up. I just think it's right now it's not as strong as it normally will be, the adhesive, because it's still a little bit wet. So make sure you keep pressing it down for a little bit until you know it's completely dry. But I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted back up in the car, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's pretty easy to put it back on, the exact same process that you used to take it off. Just reverse it, put it all back in there, make sure you plug everything back in, and make sure that the clips are still in your door and that none of them came on this plastic piece. and that none of them came off in your door, because it'll be harder to get on that way. So make sure they're all, these little white things right there, make sure they're all in the back of the door. And then I'm going to go ahead and get everything hooked up, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all back together. So here's what it looks like when it is all finished. You can see I've done that one in there, and both of the rears I finished, so they're all done and look great. This is the only one that I had a little bit of a defect in. You can barely see it right there, because when I bought the fabric it had a few creases in it, and I was told that you can't like put this in a dryer or iron it or anything like that. So I just put it on and stretched it out, and you really can't tell unless you get it the right angle. But other than that, it turned out great. It's much better than the Ford fabric. It's nice and soft. And right here you can see there's a few creases, but there's really no way to get rid of that because this is a zero stretch fabric, so it won't stretch. That's just what it is. If you get another fabric, they make fabric at the Joann's I bought this from, they tell you if it like stretches a little bit or if it doesn't, but this one didn't. So that's really the only way to do it, but I kind of pulled it tight and it looks fine like that. But it looks pretty much OEM other than that one little crease, but you can't even see it unless you're looking for it. But it turned out great. I would definitely recommend this. It adds a lot to the interior, especially you have a different color scheme going. You can just do really anything you want. They have all kinds of fabrics there. I mean, if you want to do like the Japanese like flower blossom, I think they had something kind of similar to that. They had all kinds of stuff, different colors. You can get like any color plain fabric, and then they had like red, like burgundy, blue, brown, and stuff like that in this suede color. But this was definitely a fun project to do. It actually wasn't as hard as I thought to take off all these door panels and take it off. And my car sits out in the heat all day, so these have probably gotten to temperatures above 110 degrees, and it is staying great. I haven't had any bubbles or anything show up from sitting in the sun. And I rest my elbow on this part right here a lot of the times when I'm driving too, so haven't really seen any like wear or anything from that. But it looks a lot better, adds a lot to the interior since I have this steering wheel, you know, with the red stitching, the red ST, and then I added like this shift boot with the red stitching just to kind of add, you know, like with the whole theme I have with the little red accents with like the brakes and stuff. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what colors and fabrics you guys try down in the description, and I will see you down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.